Hello, my name is Quinn Molloy with MassDOT GIS Services, and today I'm going to show you how to add and edit features in a road characteristic editor, or RCE. First, you're going to want to navigate to gisdev.massdot.state.ma.us/RCE_freight, which will take you to this login page where you can enter your credentials. Once that's all set, you'll be directed to the default map extent, showing the greater Boston region. So this interface here is comprised of 4 primary tool sets and parts. Up here you'll find the static navigational tools that will stay the same regardless of where you are in the interface. Here are the 3 tabs under which you'll find different tool categories for different tasks, and this part has the tab-specific tools. So these are, tools directly related to mapping, tools directly related to editing, and these tools are directly related to viewing. And then down here is just the map display, of course, and that is where you'll be doing most of your work. For the purpose of the Freight RCE editor, you'll exclusively be using the map and edit tools, so these are the only ones you'll have to familiarize yourself with. Just quickly go through the mapping tools right here. Navigate is pretty similar to anything that you would see in like Google Maps or an ArcGIS desktop platform. So you have these different scales, zoom in, zoom out. You can go between extents here back and forth. Or you can zoom to the initial extent of the map template, and this is just the pan tool, the Explore tool. So find is a little bit more complicated. You can use find route, in which you would need to know the specific route number that you can look up using this sort of interface when you click on the binoculars, or you can just type it in here, but certain routes won't work. So if you try to do, you need to know what route system it is, so interstate route or I-93, make sure you have northbound in there or southbound, and then you can search it and find it. But if you don't have all those components for each route, it's going to be pretty difficult to find. Another thing you can do is switch from find route to find address, so that'll clear your search window, and then you can type in wherever the start of your freight event is. So let's go to 10 Park Plaza, which is where I am. You can just zoom right in, and you press enter to search. So one thing you want to make sure if you're finding by address is that you have the city and the state, even if it's just the state address like MA. Otherwise, if you look up just 10 Park Plaza, you're going to get results in California, which is not ideal. It'd just be all over the world, and sometimes you don't need the state, but I've run into issues before, so I usually just type it in there to make sure that all my bases are covered. So this next category of tools is contents. You can view historic data. For the road inventory, it doesn't really change the base map or anything. If you want to change your base map, you can't look at historic data in the base map, but you can change it to different imagery types, or if you like a Bing map, you can do that. It's a really nice National Geographic one there. Doesn't seem to be loading right now, but just take my word for it. You can change that, and it'll change this background imagery right here. You can also look at the layers that are present in your map. It's pretty simple. Freight routes. Red line is an editing function. And these are your base maps. So this is the color that freight will come in. You can turn it off and on. You can turn your routes off and on, if it's easier for you to navigate like that. And then there's these identify tools. So this is a general identify tool, which you can use to just get some basic information about any of the data layers that you have in your map, not the base layers. And this is a route identification tool. So if you hover over that, you can identify route locations. So if you just click a little route right here, it'll show us the route ID, that it's a local road, and it also shows you the measure, so where on the route we clicked and what that measure is. So if you could assume that, you know, this is 0 and this is 0.09, you know, I clicked right about here. So that is it for the map tools. Just really they're basic navigational tools. And then you'll get into the meat of the exercise, which is the editing tools, which is split into selection and edit events. So the selecting tools are to select the pieces of the route that you want to consider. I don't think they'll be particularly useful for you in this exercise, but you know, you do want to make sure that you keep this in mind, whatever layer you're editing. You know, you want to add a freight event, so definitely have freight selected in that box. And then after that, you get to these edit event tools. So you can do something called develop an attribute set, but I don't think that would be particularly useful for you right now. So we're just going to go ahead and click return attribute. Oh no, don't click that, sorry. So leave that unclicked and click this add linear events, which will open the add linear events dialog box. So now that you have that, you want to start building your freight route event. So one thing to keep in mind is that you really have to select every single individual section of your freight route. It won't automatically do that for you, so you're going to have to go through the process a couple times for each route. For the most part, interstates will have one record that you can choose, but if you get into these smaller routes here, you're going to have to make sure, you know, that you have this section and that section. Each little road segment has to go into the add linear events for it to be a complete segment. So let's just do a little test. We'll just pick this. I think this is 95. So what you want to do is you want to identify your primary, identify the route. So if you have this button selected, select a route on the map. You can click your route, so I-90 eastbound will just show up automatically there, which is awesome. So you want to do that again, make sure that you have the from selected, and let's just say that, I guess, so we'll do it from just right here. You want to make sure that you have your measure tool, and then you can click directly on the route. If you don't hit the spot exactly that you're meaning to hit, it will snap straight to the route in the closest spot to where you clicked. So you want to make sure that's as accurate as possible. And then we'll find the 2. So you want to click in here and then make sure that you have this tool selected again. So let's zoom out. I'm actually going to navigate over. So I want to take this all the way to the end. Now, instead of just trying to click on the end of the point, it will snap to the end, so you can actually click anywhere in this area and it'll snap right to the end. There you go. So that section of route is now selected. Want to tire overlaps, merge coincident events, so that if you are working with multiple sections, it will turn them into just one event record eventually. And then next, so you want to make sure you have your, just put my initials in there. I don't know what it'll end up being if you guys want to do your full names or something like that. I'm sure you'll get some sort of documentation directing you, so then you just fill out these 2 fields, And then, you know, I've always found it's great to just fill out as much data as possible. Leave the date edited field alone. And that's it. So you saved that, and now there it is in your database. So it'll show up. It goes right to the point that we selected. So if you decide you do want to add, you know, another section of this to your route, you can just, all this information will stay in there. So you want to go back up here, and select a location on the map. And yeah, let's just say we want to add this little section. Make sure that's all the same. Click next, and then this will just stay in there as long as you need it to be in there. So you can keep adding and building onto your route until it's complete, and then you save it and it just adds that to your route. And because you have these two fields, this retire overlaps and merge coincident events selected, that will now be a single route. So when you're done, you can just exit out of that and it'll automatically save your edits. So so that's it. It's pretty simple. There is a lot of applications for this. Makes it really easy to identify and collect data. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll include some contact info at the end of this video.